Today I'm going to talk to you about HIV and the epidemic that it has in the United States, also around the world. And the main purpose why I'm talking about HIV, I know many of you already know about it, but I want to talk about it because not a lot of people understand the causes of it, how you can get it, and the importance of being abstinent. If you can be abstinent and be careful of the things that you do as far as drugs, sharing needles, having open sores, not taking care of them, then you might want to listen to this speech. So, HIV and AIDS has no boundaries. This is a quote by Annex Lennox, which I feel is so true because many people don't realize that HIV doesn't have a boundaries. No matter what color you are, what race, what age you are, you can come in contact with this virus and it can almost be deadly. It can also lead to AIDS as well. And today there's three things that I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about how do you get HIV, the symptoms of HIV and how to prevent HIV, and also places where you can get tested. And so how do you get HIV? Well, every day 1,000 children are newly infected with HIV, and only 23% of those children living with HIV are receiving necessary treatment. Also, 1.7 million people in the United States are estimated to have been infected with HIV, including over 619,000 who have already died, and approximately 102 million adults and adolescents who were living with HIV infected at the end of 2008. So that's a huge amount of people who are infected that are even getting treatment or don't even know that they have it. Not only is HIV an epidemic in the United States, but it's also around the world. People from all races, between African Americans and Latinos, Caucasians, all ages have HIV. And according to United States statistics, HIV is found in specific human bodily fluids. Any of these fluids can enter your body and you can become infected with HIV. Body fluids such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, pre-cum, any of these fluids that enter into your body or exit out of your body can also affect other people around you, especially if you're sexually active. If you do drugs that you use needles and you're sharing it, you can pass that on to other people. HIV is transmitted through body fluids, sexual contact, anal, vaginal, oral sex with the sexual partner, and also HIV can also enter through open sores. So as I was stating to you earlier, if you have open sores and you're not protecting them with band-aids or cleaning them, and you're in contact with somebody who also may have open sores or anything like that, you're going to come in contact with HIV and most likely be infected. Also, I want to talk to you about the symptoms that you get from HIV. A lot of people don't have symptoms, but people that do have symptoms, it comes from acute illness, often described as the worst flu ever. And when contacting this virus, you can feel sick for several weeks and then you can feel better. So you can be sick really with, the thing that's called acute flu, and then, next couple of weeks you can feel fine and not even know that you may have HIV. Some symptoms of HIV are fever, diarrhea, rash, chills, night sweats, and also ulcers of the throat. So if you might come into some of these symptoms, you might want to get tested, and if you don't want to come into these symptoms, then it's just best to stay abstinent, to not have sexual intercourse. Also, I also want to talk to you about ways to prevent from getting HIV, which is the #1, to wait until you get married to have sex. And if you're not sure and you want to take care of yourself, there's nothing wrong with getting tested even if you're not having sexual intercourse, because you never know, you might have open sores or anything that can cause you to get this disease. There are ways to prevent HIV in places that you should consider to get tested for the sake of your health and life when getting tested. As you know, the most important way to prevent HIV, as I said, was to stay abstinent and to not use drugs. And it's really good to talk to your children about sex education. Hopefully they're learning about this in school. Because in 5th grade I learned about sex and having menstrual periods as well. And in conclusion, practicing abstinence and saying no to drugs by not sharing needles, by not having sexual intercourse. And if you are a mother who are pregnant, it's really good to get tested so that you can get your child protected, so that you're not breastfeeding. Because if you're breastfeeding your child, then you're going to pass that virus on to your child. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind. And in conclusion, not only is HIV an epidemic in the United States, but homosexual, heterosexual, people of all ages, color, can come in contact with this virus. So remember, HIV has no boundaries and anyone can get infected.